5 minutes?
With lights dimmed and no workers in sight, this car factory in China uses hundreds of robots to churn out dozens of electric vehicles an hour, 24/7. This is a dark factory, an area of the plant so automated.
There's no way this can beat the real human touch, right? Chat, why don't we all get together and we start making cars and we show these fucking robots in China what making a real human car looks like? All right? Who's taking the wheels? Who's doing the headlights? Who's doing the doors? You guys volunteer. You split it up. I'll be overseer. Okay? We're going to John Henry this shit. I'll do the blinker fluid.
And with so little human presence that, in theory, the lights could be completely shut off. Factories like this one are part of China's bid to use hyper-automation to dominate the electric vehicle or EV market.
Smallest American parking lot.
To use hyper-automation to dominate the...
This is for a Target in...
electric vehicle or EV market. But the furious trade war between Washington and Beijing raises a key question. Who is going to buy all these new cars? For decades, the abundance of cheap labour explained why China was seen as the world's factory floor. But the economy is changing.
The labor costs had been going up in China for many years. I think it happened faster than many people in the West expected. And so if you're a factory owner, you want to find a way to blunt the impact of that. And automation is one very obvious way.
Rapid advancements in robotization has helped create what is now known as...
It's just fucked because, look, hey, you're a business owner in America. You got a factory in America. And you're like, all right, well, I want to get the cheapest possible input costs. So I'll move it to China and they'll make it there for cheap. Oh, they're getting more expensive? I guess we'll automate it. But then it ends up with the automated factory being in China. Like, we don't get the automated factory here. So they have all the manufacturing capability and the expertise and the... Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have just stuck it out in America until you could automate it. And now they get all the factories.
Dark factories.
当我们在焊装车间有800多台机器人同时在工作，这里边呢几乎可以实现完全关灯生产。
This is Zeekr, a Chinese luxury EV maker founded in 2021, whose cars cost up to $125,000 apiece.
Yikes!
In its flagship factory in northeastern China, the automaker can already produce up to 300,000 cars a year, or more than 800 cars a day. For comparison, Tesla has similar production levels, but it took more than a decade to achieve this volume. For Zeekr, robotization has a double advantage.
那我们也要面临人员的成本的上升，那我们希望能够通过自动化的方式，能够帮助来提高更高的产品，更低的这个制造成本。
Some tasks still require a human touch, such as the meticulous assembly of the cables that run throughout the car. Workers also go into the factories to perform tasks like robot maintenance. The company's ambition is to keep automating, to deliver its cars to customers even faster. In China, Zeekr is not an outlier in automation. According to the International Federation of Robotics, in 2023, every other industrial robot installed in the world happened in China. The country's level...
Wait, what? Industrial robot installations 2023, thousands of units. It's cut off, bro. Look. That's crazy. Holy fuck.
Levels of robotization have grown sevenfold since 2015, when President Xi Jinping introduced a Made in China 2020...
Wait, what did this guy say? Last week, I saw 2 BYD cars at my dad's small town. It felt like seeing silk from the Silk Road for the first time in the 1500s.
25 initiative to transform its image from the world's factory
Mars.
into an innovative manufacturing powerhouse.
And the aims are to be able to produce more of what China needs at home and to get to a level of technological advancement where they don't need to rely on the US and Western countries anymore for inputs, or to reduce that reliance as much as possible, and even to be able to produce enough that they can export. And part of that was to have robotics play a larger role in the Chinese economy.
Yeah.
Some American automakers believe China's widening EV lead, boosted by cheap state loans and subsidies, poses an existential threat to the industry.
When you have a country like China, where much of the auto industry is increasingly automated, the sky is the limit in terms of what they can produce. And if that means a flood of EVs or other vehicles on global markets, that is going to have the effects of just
it's
pulling down
already
prices,
happening
and that's
right
going to
now.
hurt Western automakers that are trying to compete with these.
That's why they have
Unlike their
tariffs in Europe
Chinese
and
rivals,
America.
companies like Ford and GM have scaled back ambitious EV expansion plans, hampered by high battery costs and the slow rollout of EV chargers. Staffing costs and labour laws in the West are another disadvantage the US faces.
China has a lot less in the way of labor regulation than many Western countries.
What America needs right now is the Mongols to stop China. That is how we get President Genghis Khan in 2028 versus Diddy. They're going to invent... This is the last chance to stop China as they invent a way to bring back Genghis Khan. To try and take down China.
They don't have labor unions to deal with in the same way, so there are fewer impediments to automating.
But China's EV landscape is a crowded space, and fast robotization makes this competition even tighter. Chinese companies already turn out more EVs than all other car makers in the world combined. But Western concerns about Beijing's EV expansion have, so far, largely kept
The
Chinese brands
cyber-stir.
out of their markets.
Countries that have friendlier relations with China, like Brazil, countries in the Middle East, in Africa, in Southeast Asia, are worried as well about their own domestic industries and don't want to see a flood of Chinese products undermine those industries. If you have automation enabling China to go even faster and produce even more of this stuff, then this political problem becomes perhaps even greater.
As a result,
Yeah.
most of these cars are
It's just crazy. I talked about this a couple times, but like a different president who understood how to negotiate and understood how to think about it from someone else's POV could have found a world very willing to listen to a global China car tariff. He could have gone around country to country and gotten everyone on board, and it would have seriously hampered China's growth. And like it was actually slam dunk. There's so many countries that would have been on board with it because it impacts them too. But now that they are all pissed off, BYD is just flooding in. I mean, they're just it's just wild.
sold inside China, making overcapacity a huge issue for the industry. But this doesn't dent Zeekr's confidence in China's capacity to consume.
已经是10几年全球最大的汽车市场，消费的、购车的，包括对车辆智能化、电动化、智能化的这个发展，对这些产品的需求增长非常快。那我们还是能够。
Okay, thank you. Next video. Interesting. We learned something.